Ready?
Yes.
Hi, I'm Steve Thompson, president of Emery Thompson Machine.
I'm Christi Brown, Vice President of Sales and Marketing.
And welcome to our weekly questions answered. I guess I'm going to start.
Yes.
Okay. A customer wants to know about running time on the machine and maintenance. And I'm going to have a little different take on it. He wants to know if I'm running 20 to 60 hours a week, how often should I do maintenance on the machine? If you're doing 20 hours a week, you're up to about changing the O-rings almost about once a year, and the springs on the scraper blades about the same thing. Scraper blades themselves, 5 years. If you're running 60 hours a week, wow, that's a long time. You need to do it about every 5 to 6 months. It's kind of like you could look the same way with your car. If you're driving it to church on Sundays versus using it as an Uber, certainly if you're using it as an Uber, you're going to have to change the oil more often. However, if your labor cost, I'm looking at, can they afford to run this machine that long? If the labor cost is $20 an hour, it's costing you $400 a week for 20 hours. If you're 60 hours, it's $1,200 a week. That's an $800 difference. What you really need is a second machine, because if you're running up that much labor, one person could be running 2 machines. If you bought a new 24 quart for us, the way it's priced, that difference in price between one machine and 2 machines, that would pay back, I calculated, in 41 weeks. That means in less than a year, you have paid for a whole second machine. You should consider that. A lot of people just say, oh, I'm running long hours. No, you're running long labor, and labor is expensive.
Agreed. I was asked how many boozy or alcohol-infused recipes do I have in the book. There are a total of 111 altogether, and 14 of those are alcohol based. Now, here's the fun part. It doesn't, any alcohol ice cream you can take away, and any non-alcoholic ice cream or ice you can always add to it to turn it into boozy. An example, you have a raspberry and white chocolate ice cream. There's no alcohol in it, but you can buy a raspberry liqueur and add to it to make it a boozy ice cream. And here's another good example of a Grand Marnier the Irish mocha gelato one. You can take the Irish mocha and just leave it like that, or you can, oh wait, I had that backwards. Can we start that over?
No. Keep going.
You have the Fabry mocha base in here, so you can leave that and not add the Irish cream, and it'll still taste like a mocha ice cream gelato.
That Grand Marnier is a wonderful Christmas flavor, and that was invented by me and a Philadelphia lawyer about 30 years ago.
Well, that one you can't really take the Grand Marnier out.
No, but
leave that one in.
But it is a great flavor. And
yeah.
Also, couldn't you take an existing liquor ice cream like bourbon vanilla and substitute into it, say, rum vanilla?
That would be very yuck. I would. You could still leave it a bourbon vanilla, but if you don't want to have it alcohol, you can use a bourbon extract, which Weber Flavors has a very good one.
Weber does good.
I was very convinced it was real bourbon. It wasn't.
Yeah, Weber does a good job.
Yeah.
Let's see. My second question is, let's see. With the cold water line connected to our inlet and a return line connected to the machine to go to the sink, water is not coming on until the compressor is turned on for about 30 seconds. Is this correct? Yes, absolutely. A water-cooled machine is not using water until you're actually making refrigeration. You may have this discussion with a health inspector sometime because they're used to an ice machine, which is pretty much basically a continuous flow of water, or a soft ice cream machine, which is running all day long too. But a batch freezer, our batch freezer, is only using water to cool the engine while the compressor is on. So once you fill it with the ingredients and turn on both switches, the beater and the refrigeration, within about 30 seconds, it starts calling for water, runs for 8 minutes, and then shuts down. Believe it or not, we have all the statistics, that's a hard word to say, to prove that on these larger machines, a water-cooled machine is far better for the environment than is air-cooled.
I always like to tell people that it's like your washing machine at home. It's not going to use any water unless you're washing a load of laundry. So it's hooked up all day, but still not going to use it until you wash clothes. My next one this is a fun one. So where do I get some quarts and pints and cups and spoons? And well, did you know, frozen dessert supplies, you can get a 10% discount just by using Emery Thompson for the coupon code in the section. All one word, don't put any space between Emery and Thompson, and it'll get you 10% off anything that you buy from frozen dessert supplies. And they have spoons like this. These are great spoons. I think they even have some color changing ones. They have different colors that you could pick from, and quarts and pints that you can use to pack all of your ice cream in. So go look at them at frozendessertsupplies.com, and don't forget to use the coupon code Emery Thompson.
Okay. I forgot my props. Can I run and get my props?
No.
I'll be right back. Keep talking.
What am I going to talk about? Oh, so
well, you can talk about the
could,
things that I'm picking up.
We could talk about how I totally fumbled that recipe thing.
Hold on.
I had it in my head. It just didn't come out right.
Okay. The question that I'm answering is, what is the difference between sorbet, Italian ice, and gelato? Well, sorbet, a cherry sorbet is going to be served in something very elegant like this champagne glass so that you can eat it, and you're charging $7, $8, $9. We have talked about this before. Italian ice is the exact same formula. There's no difference, and don't let anybody tell you differently, except we put it into a squeeze cup, and we eat it from the bottom, and we charge about $2.50 for that. So these two products are one and the same, only the price difference is going to be different. Gelato is made usually 99% of the time from a powder that comes from Italy. It's a low-fat product, and it's more similar to ice cream than sugar and water. So gelato is technically the same thing as ice cream, only a lower fat, and the flavors are more exotic. You're not going to find Moose Tracks selling at a gelateria in Italy.
Moose Tracks is good.
It is good.
This was a kind of controversial one. Can I use brownie mix or cake batter mix right from the box into the machine? The answer is no. If it's anything that you are supposed to bake beforehand, whether it's a cake, whether it's brownies, do it. You need to bake it first, and there's reasons for that. Growing up, I always thought it was you couldn't eat the batter because you put the raw egg in it. Not true. Well, it is true, but not as near as for the flour that is contains in there. So we had a virologist. No, that's a hard word.
Epidemiologist.
Yeah, that guy. He explained to us it's the flour, and the bacteria and listeria probabilities are pretty high. So if it's anything that you need to bake it first before putting it into your products, into your machine. So other than that, stick with things that don't need to be baked, like instant pudding or Swiss Miss milk chocolate.
He's also said that manufacturers, not so much of ice cream, but of cookies, don't want you to know that because you'd be terrified that all that cookie dough you've been eating before you bake them is risking you getting listeria. Yeah. So forget we told you.
Well, they have ready to eat, or you can eat now, made by Pillsbury cookie dough.
Oh boy, it would never turn into cookies with me. I'd be eating the whole thing.
Emily either. My kid buys it.
I think that's all we have for today. Hope you'll tune in next week, and thanks for watching. Bye.
Goodbye.